Friends,
When I looked out the window, there was like this little hungry black thing.
what you're looking at is one of the headwaters of the Jordan River. Some little information about this. Jordan River have 3 tributaries. The largest one is where we came from, is the Dan Spring, which provides 50% of the Jordan River water. The Dan, 50%. Another river, another 25%. And from here, another 25%. And they all flow into the Jordan. And the Jordan provides about 70% of the Sea of Galilee water. I hope it makes sense. Now, the heart of this place is the cave that you see right over there. And that's what I want to talk about, and that's why we stand here before we go to see there, because if you see there, you won't be able to see the cave. The cave is the heart of the whole area. Why is that? You see the cave have a roof. Imagine this part of the roof collapsing 1,000 years ago. You can see it's a bit different than the rest. But before 1,000 years ago, before the earthquakes destroyed the roof, it was looked like a perfect mouth. Okay? And the river flowed from the mouth of the cave. So that would be a perfect place to worship. Yes? God. Okay? So, this place is mentioned in the book of Joshua. When you have the borders of the land, this place is called Baal Gad. Baal, yes, the false Canaanite god means the master, but Baal also means, and excuse me, penetration. Because the false god of rain looked like a bull, fertilizing and opening Mother Earth. The bull is plowing the field, and the rain is fertilizing. So the abominations of the Canaanites, it happens all around this wood area. Yes, and the Bible mentioned it many, many times. They worship the Baal and Asherah. Okay? And the priest of Baal used to have like a show, making sexual relationships in public on the high places, under the tree of Asherah. You remember the story about Baal Peor and the Midianites? Same thing over here, okay? It's like imitating Baal fertilizing Mother Earth. Okay? Like the male version and the female version of God. So that's the abominations of the Canaanites. And there was Baal Carmel, and there was Baal Peor, and there was Baal Hermon, and here was Baal Gad. What's the meaning of Gad? Not very clear. Probably something to do with good fortune, luck. Okay? And they used to worship right over there. So far, so good? Yes. Years later, when the Greeks came here, they continued the pagan worship over here, but they brought their own gods. But they kept the same place. Instead of worshiping Baal, they worshiped Zeus or Jupiter, as the Greeks call him. Zeus, Jupiter, same. And the cave was a temple of Zeus, and right next to it, the second god that was worshipped over here was the god of Panias. And again, I don't want to go into too many details, but it's all about this abomination. Okay? The false god Pan, that's the guy that half goat, half man, with the sharp teeth, the ugly beard, and the horns, and a very big. Okay? That you see those sculptures? Okay. And actually the English word panic came from pan. Because he used to scare. Okay? Anyway, all this pagan worship happens over here. Now, in the days of the Romans, yes, the Romans adopted. Instead of Zeus, it became Jupiter. Zeus, that's how the Greeks would call him. Jupiter, that's how the Romans would call him. And Panias. So the Romans also worshipped over here. And the first guy to build the city over here was Herod the father. Built the temple. Herod's junior, Philippus, decided to build this capital city over here. Remember, he inherited the Golanites? So that's where Philippus built his city. And it was a huge Roman city. And he named it Caesarea after Caesar. But to make a difference between this Caesarea and other Caesareas, there were more than one Caesarea, this is Caesarea of Philippus. And that's why Caesarea Philippi. Jesus, 2 more minutes with your permission, came to the area of Caesarea Philippi. So, not necessarily to this pagan idolatry center, okay? He came to the area of Caesarea Philippi, and over here he taught his disciples, he asked his disciples, who do people say that I am? And he refers to the gates of Hades. Now there is an opinion that maybe the cave over here is considered the gates to the underworld, Hades, or Pluto, as the Romans called him. Hades, Pluto, same. Why is that? I'm about to finish. All right, sorry, 2 more minutes. People back then believed that deep caves are the gates to the underworld. And Josephus, in his book, The Antiquities, wrote about this cave, and he wrote, it was so deep, this is Flavius Josephus, that nobody could find a rope long enough to measure how deep is the cave. And we know from other places that people worship Hades in deep caves like that. So maybe that's what Jesus refers to when he talks about the gates of Hades. Last thing, after this event, you read both at the book of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke that they went to 6 walking day journey or 8 walking days journey to a high mountain where Jesus transfigured. And that's why many scholars, or some scholars, believe that they continue up from here to Mount Hermon.
Is this essentially the base of Mount Hermon?
That's the base of Mount Hermon. It will take you about 6 days, 8 days walking journey to get to the top. So could be. Okay? It's a big, could be. So here he asked them, who am I? And then he went up to prove who he is. And the last thing I want to comment, that after this event, he started telling them that the Messiah must be killed only in Jerusalem. So he told them, it's not the Messiah that you think of, the one that's going to lead you a war against the Romans. It's the suffering Messiah that will be suffered and killed, will be crucified and will raise from the dead. From that moment, he told them about the crucifixion in Jerusalem. So the way to the cross actually started from Mount Hermon, or from the base of Mount Hermon. From here started the journey to the cross in Jerusalem.